Welcome to Call That Girl's Office 365 courses. I'm Lisa Hendrickson, your hostess, and this is course number 6. This week, we're going to talk about tips for marketing your Office 365. And with me this week, I have Neal from Launch UX with us. Welcome, Nathan.
Hi there. How are you doing, Lisa?
I'm good. I'm excited. I love marketing.
I do too.
It's like one of my favorite things in the whole wide world to talk about, and I could literally have a marketing-only show. But I brought Nathan on this week because Nathan has a lot of value to add. He runs a website company, which I'll have him explain here in a minute what he does. But he's got tech experience. He used to run an MSP company, so he knows the terminology, the lingo. And I met him last year in a Facebook group, and I was just crossing over from using Upwork on a website that I was redoing, and I met him, and I was like, new people, kind of, you're a little leery at first, but he was like, look, let me do a whole bunch of stuff for you. Here's the price.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the work for me. You did the work for me. And at that price, I was like, okay, well, that's our first test. And after that, he's been doing other things for me. He's been helping other technicians do WordPress. A lot of it's quick fixes, I think, and some full website work, right?
Right. Yeah, it's a good mix.
Yeah.
Primarily what we do is we do full website builds, but the other thing we offer is quick fixes. Mm-hmm. So even for MSPs that have clients, I know when I was a managed services provider, didn't have time to do the web stuff. So if they need someone to do a quick fix for their website or a client's website, mm-hmm. we offer white label solutions to,
right.
allow for that to happen and kind of be your website expert on call, if that makes sense.
Well, that's where it's really hard to find somebody that does WordPress technical work. And mm-hmm. like one word I told you to put on your website was code snags.
Right.
I had a lot of code snags in my theme, and I couldn't get something to work, and he would go in there and just tidy it up, and it was like so nice. And so anyway, I wanted to bring him on because he does website work for me. He also was an MSP, and he has marketing knowledge, and everything we're going to talk about here today, everything we're going to do and talk about is pretty much free or low cost. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I want no one to think like, oh, marketing is so expensive. It can take your time though, and learning. And mm-hmm. otherwise it's free. Most of the stuff is going to be free that we talk about. But before we get started, I want to take a minute to thank UpRiver for sponsoring the courses. They are my Office 365 vendor. I've been with them 5 years, and they're the ones who help get these courses together to get, we've got 12 already lined up. We've got many more after that. And so if you are interested in getting signed up with them, you can email sharris@upriver.com. That's Steve Harris, sharris@upriver.com. Okay, now we can get on with the show. So Nathan mentioned to me something in our pre-show about one thing he's noticed about tech companies, because he does a lot of tech businesses. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what you noticed that people are doing that they maybe should not do?
Well, some people don't want to mention that they sell 365. They want to brand it as their own solution. It's like Launch UX email or something like that, or Launch UX 365 instead of using the Microsoft name. And I get the reason for that. Back when it first came out, people didn't want their competitors, starting to also sell Office 365. But now it's so well known, and the clients know it, and pretty much everybody knows what Office 365 is. Why would somebody want to buy your white labeled service, even if it is 365? You put the Microsoft name in front of it, it gets the credibility of Microsoft. They know that even if you get hit by a bus, somebody's going to be able to probably help them out.
Well, I think that the first time you mentioned that, I was like, I do see a lot of that they call it like maybe their own cloud 365. But
right.
I think it's confusing because people are looking for, like when they go to a new website, they're going to recognize the Office 365.
Right.
That puts you connected to that. So I thought that was really important because I've never called anything Call That Girl 365.
Right. Well, when the businesses searching on the web for you are going to be looking for Office 365 techs in my area.
Right. Exactly.
And so if your keywords are not Office 365, techs or, talking about the Office 365 services, we're talking about your own name for Office 365, they're not going to find you because they're not searching for that word.
And I also think that a lot of people want to always put everybody into their own MSP plan,
Mhm.
bundle everything in, where you're going to be missing out on a lot of money if you don't have other opportunities to get those people in and one day migrate them to your own.
Right.
I'm seeing that a lot out there. Everybody's like, it's all or nothing with us. Well,
Mhm.
there's Office 365 is so easy to go buy yourself now.
Mhm.
And honestly, I've had clients go buy 30, 40 seats by themselves and hobble through the migration.
Mhm.
And they're dealing with emailing their clients from the on Microsoft account because they just didn't know they had to do a migration.
Right. They didn't know how to update the DNS.
Well, they didn't know how to do a full migration.
Right.
Some did, but then they scaled back. But the point is that you got to leave the door open for those clients to get used to you. And we're going to do another course on prepaid tickets. That's how I get them in. But, you know, the marketing, you got to get them into the website. And if they're on their own systems, slowly leak them over. And I think that the Office 365 name is really strong versus your own.
Well, you got Microsoft backing you, and people know Microsoft. They've been around since, you know, basically the beginning of Office is using computers. They've been using the Windows operating system, and
it's a trusted name.
right.
It's a trusted name that we love making money off of.
So, and for tax, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing, and this will be another show, but like even for us, it's the small jobs that we make only a little bit of money off of getting started that get us into the door, and then a month later, hey, we want to look at a whole website redesign, or hey, we want to look at these larger types of services that we offer.
Yeah, that's what happens. So first tip is consider putting the word Office 365 on your website. We'll talk about some pricing and stuff for those that don't have it, but that got me really thinking about it because I see it. And I'm gonna show you guys next some things on the website here that, let me see my notes here. I think we'll jump to that here in a minute. But another thing is a lot of people are still doing home offices, or excuse me, they have a store or they have an office. They don't just work from home like I do. I'm remote only. So here's some tips for you guys. If you do have a store, you go on site and you have an office maybe, is for sure start talking about Office 365 almost all the time. Put signs up in your store. Put them up on the outside of your windows. And especially like on the outside of a store window, on your vehicle, put it out there. My truck has had Office 365 on there for years. And it says Outlook support and expert help and stuff like that. Make sure you start talking about it at like your BNI meetings. Make that one of your core things. And I believe me and you talked about this pre-show. There's a topic every week you could be talking about with this stuff.
For years.
For years. Phishing, security, apps, add-ons, problems. I mean, it just never ends. It could be your thing at these events. And a lot of people still want to talk about old school technology stuff at, you know, the BNI meetings and such. So try to stay ahead of things and use that as your, as you know, what you're known for, rather.
Well, I was going to say at the one point we had a retail storefront and we would put those signs up. And generally speaking, a lot of the signs that the people with storefronts put up are signs about hardware and things that the customer really doesn't care about.
Right.
Towards the end of when I was migrating out of that venture, you know, people were asking about what was up on the signs, and they were starting to ask about Office 365 rather than buying, you know, the thing like it's Staples, or buying, you know, the Office suite and just having the service for home. So that's a great way. And residential customers doesn't necessarily mean you do residential. That person could be the manager of a business.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to talk about is when you have a store and you're servicing residential clients, remember they all have jobs or go to work where they could take your information with. So make sure you add it also to the your receipts or your flyers that you send out or whatever. Because I remember when I first started my business, the residential people on LinkedIn that I was helping that were unemployed or whatever, they all went and got jobs later. Then they called me and said, hey, I remember you helping me and we need you at my company now. So that's a second leg for you. But the thing is, you got to put the branding out there, Office 365. Otherwise, they don't know and they don't see it. And also, if you do any ads, like radio ads, like you are big into radio.
Radio is one of my favorite.
Mention it as much as you can in radio or your print ads, even if you just put a little blip on the ad somewhere. because your competition probably isn't doing it.
They're too busy selling everything with the wide net. The secret is to get your foot in the door with the Office 365.
What's a Y-net?
A wide net. So they're casting a wide net out on the ship
Yeah.
to try to. They're covering 20 services in a 30-second spot. Use that 30-second spot as a strong advertisement for what you can do for Office 365. And you know what? People are looking for local people to support them in that. They're not looking for somebody that's not close to them,
Like
generally
me?
speaking. Huh?
Like me?
No, I'm talking more like outsourcing, like overseas and
Right.
things like that. They're looking for, somebody that they can talk to and not have to go through a call center and press 1 for this and 2 for
Right.
that. They're looking for you, not a company, really. They're looking for somebody that can help them.
Right. Well, when you were just saying the radio piece, the one thing I've learned is I don't know the laws on what you can advertise with Office 365, like in a radio ad. So one thing I'm going to say is, because I'm doing a radio ad where I live, is I support email programs and other software such as, I'm going to cover Google, Gmail, iCloud. I'm going to say all that stuff.
Well, that's a perfect way to get them in the door if they're having a problem with one. Like if my Google Mail's not syncing to Outlook, Office 365.
That's just part of the secret to my SEO blogs, which
Sorry.
we'll talk about next. No, I tell people freely. But the thing is to get those small jobs in, or to get the big ones in, you do have to bring in one with a big problem.
Right.
Is syncing. Number one I get is people are like, the phone ain't syncing. I'm like, ding, ding, money, money.
Right.
There. That's a marketing tip right there. But anyway, so even though if you're not on that, and all that stuff we mentioned has nothing to do with being online. That's all physical presence. If you have a store or office, there's probably a ton more ideas, but I've been so home-based, I don't even think
And
about
getting posters printed and things like that are not very expensive.
Yeah, like to put up in coffee shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not very expensive at all.
Well, I'm actually going to be getting an office where I live now, so there might be an updated course on new stuff I'm doing. I will let you folks know because I'm excited to get back to the old stuff. All right, well, let's get into the website fun. If you want to take a minute and tell us more about LaunchUX.
Launch UX.
It's launchux.com. Tell us just a little bit more about what you guys do.
So what we do is we specialize in the UX stands for user experience. So you can have a website, but if it's just out there and nobody can find it and it's not mobile friendly and it's difficult to use, you're probably not going to get those calls. So what we do is we make suggestions and do things that don't cost a whole lot of money, but help people get the most impact out of their website. Like I was going to go to a restaurant the other night, couldn't load their menu up on my phone on their website. So I clicked off of it and went somewhere else.
All right.
You don't want to lose a potential customer business because they didn't have a good experience on your phone. And people judge you from your website. They really do.
Well, I'm going to be showing you guys my website and the judgment, and sometimes simple's better.
Simple is, it's good to get the information out there and not overwhelm people with a lot of stuff. And I know between our conversations and us talking, you've been really helpful with me in simplifying down some of my sales pages and changing some of my practices. And they're working. They're really working because people don't care about all the nuts and bolts. They want the facts.
Yeah.
You outline the facts and then ask them to contact you.
Yeah, I've learned from other mentors I've had, like on sales pages and such. This works, that works, this doesn't work, and sometimes it's just too much. But your business website, I'm going to show you guys right now, in fact. Let's start with this. I'm going to share the screen, okay? All right, so I'm going to show you guys my website, and this is just simple website 101, okay? I don't like the bells and whistles. I don't like the flashy pictures. I found that this simple website has always worked for me, and people are like, you should change it and update it. And I'm like, nope, I'm sticking to what works. And this right here, this banner is like everything you need to know. So when you see this on the cell phone, you see everything you need, what I do and support, how to get a hold of me, my email, okay? what I do, right?
Mm-hmm.
This works. Even though it looks outdated, but then it kind of looks kind of vintage with the girl too. So I'm kind of lucky there. But anyway, this main page here is all my information that I don't know if this actually works with SEO or not, but I do like the outline of things because I do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Outlines work well. Also, heading tags like H1, H2, H3, outlining the high.
Yeah, but we're not going to get the technical part of it though.
Okay.
That's, yeah. But here, this is just the outline of what I do. Then up here is a simple navigation bar. Not a lot of deep stuff. Sometimes you go to people's sites and they've got one and then they got 12 links down below. And then they got sub ones over there that are a lot, goes to their Tech Cloud 365 program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're hiding it and you're hiding it twice.
Right.
Right.
You're masking it twice. Yeah.
So here's what I try to do is if you're going to do Office 365 and you want that to kick ass, put it right here on the nav bar. Office 365. Mm-hmm. Don't hide it in a submenu. Don't do anything. Just keep it right there.
Well, and that brings in a good point, Lisa. The website is about getting your foot in the door because the people hitting your website are likely people that have not purchased from you before. So it's about that first impression. Oh, he or she does Office 365. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
Rather than having them basically swim through 60 different pages on a nav bar.
And a lot of times, get this, I've gone to people's sites and gone, why don't you even have it on your anywhere? And you're asking me about it. It's just a missing marketing, gem. So
right.
Get your nav bar. Like here, I have it here, but I also have Outlook. Okay. Mm-hmm. And here, look at that. I got two simple things, which trust me, I could have a stockpile of all the different Office 365 things I could have here, but this confuses people. Less is more. Get them to call. I do have a products one I just added, and here's what I do for testing is I'll create a menu at them, and then I go give it a few weeks and see how the analytics hit for it because I can't tell. Mm-hmm. This is just my simple page, and underneath the hood, though, is where we're going next, and there's thousands of pages, but you would never know. But my site here basically has the simple stuff, how to call me, and schedule with me. And this is what makes me the most money is this right here. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to show you guys why in just a second. But anyway, so next thing is, one sec, is the blog. Can't see it here. Now I have a blog that I do not have on the navigation bar. And let's talk about that blog and why it's not there. Okay, a lot of people put a blog up here. This is not really Office 365, but I'm going to show you that in this next session, when we talk about SEO blogs, you don't want your blog link here if you're going to be doing SEO blogging. Okay, so this is an SEO blog I just did today. See that? Mm-hmm. I did this for you.
Oh.
Because you're from Pennsylvania, right?
Right.
So anyway, here's an SEO blog I made as a showcase to show you guys. But the point I'm trying to make here is, if you're going to be doing SEO blogging and you have a blog link on your nav bar, blog links are only good if you're blogging yourself and you're not sending people off the blog.
Right.
So don't be putting, like if you subscribe to newsletter content from a company and you go put that in your blog and it sends them off to Never Never Land, that is a value zero.
Right.
Blog, right? Okay, so now I hide the blog. I don't keep it up here in the navigation bar because this is where all the juice is for all my SEO stuff. But I want to show you guys this blog here, okay? So this is a blog. It's called The Post in WordPress. Now, I could do a whole show on SEO also, but I'm not going to. This is about marketing in general. But the first thing you want to do is this here has a URL. So I'm going to click on it. And now you can see here when people come and search for Office 365 SharePoint Philadelphia, they're going to see all my marketing love here. You're going to see my widgets.
Little checks.
I've got lots of widgets. In fact,
bullet points, easy.
Yep, I got bullet points over here. I probably have too much, but the thing is with my website, it's a carnival show of everything. I get, a lot of hits on it for all the different blogs. So I try to get people in with everything. But this blog here is something that someone refined. They come and see this at the top, my banner. They see what I do. They see my little story. They see the widgets. They obviously know I do Office 365. There's no question. Then they can actually see my testimonials too. Right here.
And right there you have Office 365 mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, but I'm saying you have to put it out there. You can't hide it.
No.
People are looking for it, and I know everybody wants the big $10,000 a month MSP sale, but you got to start small, and you got to get your foot in the door to establish the trust to get there.
Yeah.
Microsoft already has the trust, and this is a good way to show that you know what you can do for them.
Well, the thing is, don't be a break-fix hero. You know, I think a lot of people overlook the break-fix world that, oh, it's such little jobs, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? That's all I do all day is little jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That is my job. I don't do MSP. In fact, this year I stopped doing migration work. I gave it to Adam. So he does that even. I've learned I'm much better focusing on what I do well. So I don't have to deal with all that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so this blog here is something that people find. They see I do it. There's no question. And half the jobs I get from this, I can't even do. You know why?
Why is that?
Because people are looking for a SharePoint consultant in Philadelphia, and they've got some crazy SharePoint mixed up problem. I send it to my referral people and make money.
Right.
So here's the thing. Even if you're not doing it, still market for it because it's you or the other guy.
Right. And if you have a great referral network like you do, Lisa.
I do. I can't do everything in SharePoint. I don't do flows, forms, Power BI, all the extra stuff, but I have people that do it. So when people call me for this, I've got a nice little system. I say, let me talk to you first. And then if I can't do it, I got a referral and I get commission checks.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Works for me. So that's why you can get out. This will be in our SEO little section here. I'll talk about in a minute. But the three basic things about website marketing is just make sure you have it on your navigation bar and you take away the blogs link if you're not blogging and try to use widgets. That's what I tell people because those widgets you can make and change yourself pretty easy.
Right.
Yeah.
You can swap them out.
I know. I make these all the time and I've got hundreds of them literally. I just go swap them out and do something else. But
I find with most technicians, it's finding the time to write the content that's the biggest struggle.
Well, I don't think it's natural for a computer technician to do marketing.
Right. But there's places out there that can help with those different things, you know.
Yeah.
So
there is.
Just that you don't have time for it's not a reason to not be putting out that content. Like what Lisa has here will help her be found, which is the entrance into the doorway. So then her referral in Philadelphia might start with a SharePoint job, end up with, you know, depending on what he or she does, you know, maybe an MSP gig out of it.
Right.
So,
well, the good thing about blogging is it'll last forever.
mm-hmm.
Unless your site breaks or something else, the blogs stay out for life.
And if your site breaks, I know somebody you can call.
Oh, who's that? Well, that's a whole nother thing too. I have my site backed up 3 times. In fact, before Nathan does any work on my site, he always backs it up because I'm like, just never can tell. You know, at one time we had a big mess up and I did something wrong.
I was like, don't worry, I got a backup.
That's right. It made me feel so much safer because I like to mess around with the pretty buttons, admittingly. All right, so let's see. Now I want to show you guys just an example of another site of mine, which is the callthatgirl.com site, which I just started up in, I just started this up in October, and this is the one that Nathan came in and helped me after the Upwork guy got done. But this is more of a technical website for technicians. It's not, and this has got overkill. So I did the opposite. But see, I get techs that come here to do one thing. They spend time here. It's like a carnival act for them, intentional.
Right.
I've got stuff all over. I want people to hang out here.
This is a resource rather than a sales.
Right. Yeah, it's a good learning site. I've got a lot going on and I made it into a blogging site. And this is, you know, this happened to work for me. Now, if you're doing a blogging site for your clients, I'm not 100% sure I recommend that because the point of a blog is to get people to call you.
Right.
But this is a resource one. It's learning. It's totally different. But
like for our blogging, what we write is about why you need responsive web design. Then we do the different things to target or 5 tips on how to increase your web presence. Or
Oh, I love all those.
and those are like catchy titles that people are generally searching for.
They're not searching for them. I think when people find them, they're like, "Ooh, I want to learn those 5 ways."
Right.
I've never ever
They
Googled.
just see it in the Facebook feed or whatever, Twitter, and they're like, yeah.
We're gonna talk about that next. Actually, I've never been one to go Google what are the 5 ways to make money off my website. I find that on social media, I'm more intrigued when I see someone doing that. Those are real popular. In fact, that's my most popular LinkedIn article.
What was 100,000?
Yeah, 100,000 views. It was called 5 Common Problems for Gmail and Outlook.
I bet you got some business from that one.
I still do. That thing rolls every day. But so one thing I want to show you guys here is like this blog. Okay, so you can create a basic blog, or it's called a post in WordPress. I call it the blog.
Mm-hmm.
This here can actually take you many, many places. Okay, so this is an SEO post right here for sure. But I have other ones. In fact, I am going to show you guys the Gmail one. Okay, hold on. Just to kind of show you an example, okay? So here, Gmail Outlook problems, here's that blog, okay? Right here. This actually has so much juice in it. You can put in a lot of different search configurations. It'll show a lot of different things. But, excuse me. But basically, this here is the blog that goes over to the LinkedIn article, okay? There we go. I think my social shares got probably a few. Trying to see here how many shares it's got. It's a slow loader. Well, anyway, this here is I'm so careful with this site now. I don't even update it anymore. I'm so nervous. I don't let it do anything, but I actually did try to change the title once. I changed it to 6, but this is what's a blog that you would share on social media, okay?
Right.
Perfect. You take the URL and then you go and put that out with a graphic, and it's a commonly made, titled whatever blog. But to me, this thing has just tons of juice in it. And look how long this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
It just keeps delivering. Like I said, I'm too scared to even update it anymore because it's just it just makes me a lot of money. But so anyway, this is a blog that I put out. So this is where you put this in your newsletter, okay? You create a simple blog, you put it in the newsletter, and you put in the subsection a little bit about it, then read more. Pretty simple.
Right.
Read more goes to your site. Don't send them off to Never Never Land to read somebody else's blog. Always bring it back home. Secondly, this goes into social media also. You got to be careful with the graphics because sometimes they don't match up and they look ugly, which I've had that problem for years. But that's part of your website. That's a blog. That goes out there as well. And those are the 2 things I mostly do. Is I put in newsletters and I put it out on social media. And then the SEO part. Now, the whole thing about SEO with blogging is I've been doing it now for almost 8 years. And I wrote an ebook about it. It's not hard to learn the tricks I do. And I tell people, I rank really high for Office 365 in your town probably.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go look, go type in Office 365 plus your town, and I might be ranking there. I told everybody that if you are a course student and you want, to take my town over because you're there, you're more than welcome. Because you might end up referring me for tougher stuff. I'm fine with that. One guy actually said, I enjoy that you're on the same town as me because I'm going to get the work then.
Right. You refer it back.
I'm like, well, I guess because someone might call me first and I'll say, call him over there. Honestly, I just know so many techs around the world that if I knew somebody was in a certain town, it's hard for me to take money away from them, So we work together. All right. So the SEO book, as a bonus for those students watching this, I'm going to give it away free. You have to email me, Lisa, with the subject line of free SEO ebook, and I will send it off to you. Okay. Then you can read it and learn it. It's really simple to do. If you're an owner of a company and you're listening, give it to one of your junior techs, give it to your admin, give it some homework. It's not hard to do. Writing content's not that hard either. It's just like telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, you don't have to be a content maniac, just tell the story.
Right.
That's all it is. All right, let me see here. Then you can also, for other things, is when you're starting to do Office 365 marketing, I think I'm going to stop sharing here. For other 365 marketing, here's what you can do is reach out to your network of people. Reach out to your 10 best clients and ask them. A lot of people don't like doing referrals, but just say, can you put me in my newsletter? Oops.
Mm-hmm.
Put you in a newsletter, put you somewhere. Can you do a social post about it? Just kind of like ask them to help.
Yeah.
Because people love sharing stuff.
And I think everybody has probably 2 to 5 clients that would be more than willing to share and help out.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
I've seen a lot of technicians lately do like the testimonials on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like happy that their client gave them a good job, whatever, or, they're happy to refer them. But that's something you could do too. Also, update your LinkedIn profile to say you do Office 365.
Right.
People, believe it or not, are looking for things in LinkedIn. They're using it as a second search engine.
Mm-hmm.
And since LinkedIn was bought by Microsoft, they haven't even started to do anything massive, but it's coming.
Right. And LinkedIn is a way to find professionals.
Oh, yes. And actually, I've got some more little nuggets I'm learning right now about engagement marketing.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I'm not going to reveal the secrets yet because I want to test it first. But there's a lot of juice in LinkedIn. So update your profile. Put in there that your company supports everything. Add in all the products. Tell everything. Tell the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Because LinkedIn, well, it's not LinkedIn. Office 365, I can tell you this is not going to be going away. They're only going to keep making it more confusing. They're going to expand more services, and there's a lot of money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And then, of course, once you start getting your website all ramped up for Office 365, go tell your LinkedIn networks, go tell your groups. Here's a little tip about LinkedIn and groups is that it actually gets sent out as an email to people. Or on Facebook, it's called an email notification. Most people don't subscribe to it.
Right.
But LinkedIn, they seem to because it's business. Yep. So I've learned that in groups when you put out a post, it goes out into the email digest.
Mm-hmm.
And you can title it whatever you want. I don't think it does anything for SEO. But then, of course, you can put it out on your Facebook page and your company page and all that. But, I just don't have good luck with Facebook with clients. I really have good luck with technicians.
Right.
That's where, so to me, my marketing is different. I market almost everything to text through Facebook, LinkedIn second, clients LinkedIn, Facebook not at all.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to send out or do a post or boost a post, just make sure you push them to your own page.
Right.
So many of these ads that go off to Never Never Land.
Oh, and I get ads from, that are targeting me and their competitors. I'm not their market. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's wasted money because I might click on that and what is that, like $1? So if you're going to do the targeting, make sure you're doing it right and you're sending it to your website. You're funneling them in as a client, not clicking on this and it going to some press release that somebody else wrote out in California or wherever, hundreds of miles away from where you're at.
Well, I think if I don't see the boosted posts, here's what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
These folks are hiring companies to do their automated postings.
Mm-hmm.
And then that company goes and finds like one great post, right, to do for everybody.
Right.
And it's always just not even exciting stuff.
Right.
And I'm not engaged to go click on it and then read it. And half the time it takes you to not their site, to another site. And then I'm already drifting off and I'm on YouTube watching Bryce Lee videos. That's how it goes. Or whatever that guy's name is. We're so fast right now. You got to keep people in your funnel as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, I think that rounds it up here. What do you want to add in?
Basically, I think you all summed it up. The only suggestion I have is sometimes it's difficult for text to make graphics. And I found that Canva, Canva.com, is a real nice drag and drop creator for graphics. We do it here, but that's a great free, and you can get a free account.
All right.
So that's really nice if you're making social media graphics for your LinkedIn or your Facebook, and it's good to make them look nice, especially if you're going to boost them.
I've used that Canva before, but I'm honestly like, I'll put out a blog link to how I do it in Microsoft Word.
Mm-hmm.
I use Word and Paint,
Mm-hmm.
which is my favorite way.
Right.
And I don't make the best graphics, but guess what? My graphics,
They work for you.
but they work. Sometimes I think the crappier they are, the better clicks I get. Well, it just shows like I am true, you know, I do everything myself.
Well, and you have to do it consistently, and you're consistent. You know what I mean? Consistency matters.
Yeah, so don't be afraid of doing crappy graphics. Because it still works. But, you know, I have done some nice ones from Fiverr.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you get lucky and you can get the right designer. And then you know what happens is literally I work with them for about 6 designs and then they go off the grid.
Right.
And then I'm on to the next person. I just can't get into a flow. I don't know why. But I've got some really good ones out there. You can tell the ones that were done professionally. You can tell which ones I'm doing tonight. All right. Well, yeah, I like that Canva, though. It's a little hard for me to figure out, but I've got a few out there. All right, gang. Well, Nathan, tell us how they can get in touch with you. I'm going to have it in the show notes, too. They
can visit us at launchux.com. They can chat with us through our website. They can also call us at 855-3-LAUNCH. That's our toll-free number. And we offer white label support for technicians. We offer prepaid bundles for quick fixes, things like that, website designs, and other sorts of support. And with us,
the prepaid tickets with you.
Oh, it's great because you just call up and, you know, you already have a credit with us and it can get resolved really quick. The other thing is a lot of web designers or, well, I mean, they're designers. They're not technicians. We have the technical background at Launch UX. So when it comes to matters of DNS and people messing up the records for email, you know.
That never happens.
So it's good to have somebody that can design a really good front end, but if they mess up the back end, you know, so that's what you get with us. But that's my high-level overview.
You're very responsive too, and I like that. It's, you know, I hate nothing more when you get someone that you think is really good, and then they go drift off to Neverland, and you're like, you actually forgot about the project yourself, and you're like, hey, come on back. I never finished. I like that. You're very responsive.
That's all we do.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got the tech background too, because you don't have to explain things, you know. All right, gang, if you guys want to get in touch with Nathan, he gave you that. You get the free ebook, put in free SEO ebook, and email me, Lisa at callthatgirl.com. Make sure to check out the callthatgirl.com website. I got tons of things I sell, Outlook training videos, ebooks. I mean, I've got new stuff coming too this summer, and I'm going to be delivering. Yep. And I just want to do a big shout out to the App River again for thank you for sponsoring the courses. I think that's it, gang. Anything else?
I think that's all.
All right. See you in course number 7 next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.